Oh, we're gonna. Oh, we started.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
I wasn't even. Oh,
Greetings,
and suave
greetings.
evening. This is Dr. Brother Suave, your mind-blowing, thought-provoking, and eye-opening on-air personality, life coach, psychotherapist, author, creator, and your divine social therapist and host of Social Therapy with Dr. Brother Suave. Listen, I am so happy to be on this episode number 5. I'm so excited. Listen. Before I even get started, I want to just talk about the blessings of coming together. Every show, I'm going to always talk about staying connected and learning and just being there because it's so important that we always try to stay connected. And when you're having good days, bad days, you always want somebody to be in your life to just give you words of encouragement. And so over the course of years, this brother has always been in my life. We hadn't seen each other for a long time, but somehow we always stayed connected. And when I'm saying connected, connected. And so the thing is, you know how when you connect it and you look at the word literally, but then it's literally and figuratively. Let me tell you something. All these years we've known each other, 30 plus, we didn't know until later, years later, that we was born the same day in the same hospital, the same time. Our birthday is the same day, but not just born the same day, but in the same hospital, the same day, same year. And who would ever thought that we would come together and be brothers, fraternity brothers? It's like, man, this is this universal brother that I've had all these years, and I'm just so blessed to just really connect to this brother. And so I just like to give this little dialogue or monologue, however you want to call it, to just connect to everyone. So I'm blessed. And also today, just want to share this with you. I was listening to a message. You know how sometimes you go on Facebook and you listen to other people's messages. And again, when I say I'm the divine social therapist, listen, I gave a little divine social therapy today as a result of the message that I received today. And the message was, I was watching a dear friend of mine. Her name is Joy Castillo. And she was giving a wonderful message, just empowering people. But what stood out is when she said, you reach me. Well, she was saying I, but she says, I reach you, you reach them, and they reach the world. And so, in other words, when you're being taught by somebody about teaching you something to empower them, you use that information to empower others. And guess what? They use the information that you empower them to power others. So we have to always somehow stay connected and try to pass on the information. Don't hold it to yourself. We have to learn to empower ourselves, our people, and our community. And so I want to just go ahead and go into details about my very special guest. Let me just tell you a little bit about him. You know, I call him the Success Architect. Here, let me read a little bit about this brother. He is the chairman of Stronghold Capital Private Business Group, which invests and develops virtual real estate with a portfolio of over 600 top level domains and controlling over 200 social media platforms. Sheldon's mission is to create, design, and build out real estate virtual spaces specifically to engage, enlighten, enhance, educate, entertain, and empower Black Americans, Black American culture, and Black African diaspora worldwide. Listen, he is the brains behind this whole broadcast. You know how people look at the face, but this brother has been so creative in looking how I'm able to put out my brand, how I'm able to be on this platform. He is the creative mastermind, the visionary. So without further ado, I'm gonna introduce you to my frat brother, my business partner, the brains behind this, the success architect, Mr. Sheldon Brilliance Williams. Welcome to Social Therapy with Dr. Brother Suave. I'm not hearing you. I can't hear you.
There we go.
There you go. So let our people hear.
I'm humbled. I just appreciate being on the show. I appreciate all the kind words, man. I really do. If it wasn't for brothers like you, I'm having a suaverific day.
Okay.
Suaverific day. I've been in the lab all day. I've been here in the studio all day. That's why, I'm in my labor clothes because I've been in the studio all day working and doing some pre-production stuff for the show. Had a couple of little gremlins that was running around. You know how it works. It's Murphy's Law. Anything that can happen at the time that it shouldn't happen, it will happen. But again, you just motivate me, man, and I appreciate the welcome, and I'm glad to be here with you. I'm glad to be a part of this history making process
Thank you.
building here, man. And again, yeah, we were born in the same hospital, everybody, on the same day, in the same hospital on the same day. How divine is that? I,
Yes.
that's God. I mean, really, you don't even meet people that's born on your same day, let alone the same year, but in the same hospital.
Yes. I mean, really. Again, a lot of things we get so confused because we don't know why things happen, but that's why we don't spend a lot of time questioning things. Sometimes it's important to just go with the flow at times. And I'm not sitting there saying just always going, but certain things that are divine is way beyond our understanding. And sometimes we have to learn to accept that because things are so beyond our understanding is that we can ruin our blessings. Our blessings and things that's in our best interest by overthinking things. So it's really divine. We're talking about since the 80s, man. And not since the 80s, since this since the beginning, day one.
And I think about that a lot. I'm like, man, I would love to just be able to go back in time and do some amazing stuff and walk into your room and see what how close we were in the hospital.
Yes. Like they say, that fly on the wall, the things that fly could have seen and interpreted and told. I mean, we could have been babies in the same room right there. We don't know. But
We
what we
know.
do know is we're here today. We're on social therapy with Dr. Brother Suave. Man, everything happens the way it happens. Like we say Murphy Law, but the other way. We came together, and for whatever reasons, we're here today. And so let's get this thing going. So
Okay,
I want to talk to you.
let's talk.
So the success architect. I mean, listen, you guys, I've seen this brother do so many incredible things. And again, everything he's done with passion. It always was a level of pride, professionalism, and again, when each and every week, and I'm not gassing you guys up. Each and every week, again, when I say how I am in public, it's the same way I am in private. He'll tell you, I'm always edifying and saying, man, you do some incredible work. And it's always like, is it enough hours in a day? Because I'm trying to wonder how is he doing these suave, credible things throughout the day, but he gets them done. So, and so I guess, when we talk about architecture, creating, building, and having a vision. So let me just start. How did you come up with this name, the Success Architect?
Well, for me, it's just about, I guess, because I've been a business developer so long in my career, my adult career, helping people to develop their businesses. It started back when I was on Wall Street working for the second oldest bank on the New York Stock Exchange at the time. We were doing all kind of things, and I was learning all kind of little nuances as far as being able to help improve business. And,
Okay.
and the first thing that I thought about is how can I help us? I mean, because I've been a person that's always been never in my comfort zone. I've been and one thing I would say is that I've been diversifying since 1973. When I was in first grade and I was the only black kid in the only black kid in elementary school in a Catholic school type thing. So I've been diversifying.
Okay.
so so my whole mission is to make sure that I help to draft the blueprint of success. That's my tagline, to help to draft the blueprint for success. Because I want to be able to be around and celebrate us Not alone. I want to celebrate it with everybody being successful. I want to see everybody be their greatest being, to accomplish their greatest accomplishments. I want to be a part of those success stories. So that's why I do the things that I do, because I like being part of those successes. It makes me happy. It makes me happy to help people and see them succeed. So that's where Success Architect started. And it started, I'd probably say about 20 years ago.
Okay.
uh, yeah, and since then I just could never let it go, and that's why, and going to into what we were talking about forward thinking. I have Success Architect everywhere on the net, as far as emails and AOL,
Uh-huh.
Google, Yahoo. It doesn't matter. I mean, Success Architect is me. So I just thank God for the ability to look forward enough to be able to understand possibilities, and that anything can be everything for us, brother. So that's what it is for me. It's just being able to be a part of success stories and being a part of your success story, because we have something amazing going on with this show, and I'm loving it, and I'm glad to be here. Is what I can say.
Great. Yes, man. It's again, man. Your incredible talent. Ongoing, never stop. And when you're talking about diversifying, and I can see the diversity in your skill set. You know, and what I always as recently admired about you, it's like we wasn't raised and brought up in technology, and the things that you're able to put together and the things you're able to navigate, that's incredible. Because I could tell you straight up, like I say, how I am in private, how I'm is how I am in public. And I always been intimidated by technology, but it seemed like you always taking it in stride. you know how was that? What had you so determined in everything that you do?
Well, to be honest with you, brother, for me, it's just I'm a creative at heart. Even though I've been
Yes.
in suit and ties and boardrooms and things for most of my adult career, I'm a creative at heart. And so I always used to. Well, I hear a lot of people say, "Man, if I was young and had this technology," and you know what,
Oh, yes.
I had got into a tendency of saying that too. But then I thought about it, and I said, I'm here right now, and
Yes.
I'm with the technology now. So how could I use this to my advantage and be able to make my indelible mark on the world? So I get into it. We have YouTube and those type of things that can
Uh-huh.
teach, show us things, because I'm a cognitive learner. I like watching people, and I'm a hands-on person.
Yeah.
So being able to watch it instead of read it, it works for me.
Hmm.
Uh, so I just like being creative, man. I just like doing things that impress people and people to like, to see someone. I guess I'm like a cook too. I love to cook too, but
Yes, me
I,
too.
I'm like a cook. But when I see somebody really appreciate what I've done, it motivates me that much more. So I just push myself and make it work. I make it work. I've worn many hats doing what I do.
Yes, yes. Yes, and again, you have transitioned, and like I say, we didn't come up in a time we had all this virtual real estate. The thing is, you and I would talk. I remember doing radio in Miami, 105, Y100, and in Atlanta. I remember you had to compete, you had to apply, compete, and now everyone has this platform, a creative platform at any given moment. They can do it. And I think it's bringing on a lot of opportunities for us all. So when I was reading a little bit about your background, as you talk, want to build out real virtual spaces. Let's talk about that.
Well, for me, I appreciate where we came from. We came up in that era where certain things were instilled in us that are not instilled in the younger generation now. We had an older generation that made sure that we understood where we came from, what the struggle was, the reasons,
Yeah.
um, how we should carry ourselves, how we should conduct ourselves. And so, it was always the conversation about the 40 acres and the mule.
Okay.
And that rings so loud to me, because think about, if our families did have that 40 acres, how wealthy we would be, how secure we would be, because 40 acres is a good piece of land,
Yes.
regardless of what people think. And I guess at a certain time I started looking at where we were, And I'm looking at, we're in a virtual world. We have virtual existence and a physical existence.
Okay.
Truly, truly. And so for me, being able to have the virtual spaces that we have, you have addresses, is almost like, to me, it's like real estate. Your addresses are your domain names, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and that type of thing. So once you get that, if you have abc.com, drbrothersuave.com, can't nobody replicate that. Can't nobody come and get a drbrothersuave.com. So now you got an address, like what we used to write mail and put stamps on to send it to people. Now people can actually come to you from all over the world. So that's powerful. And that's what I love about the generation that we have now, is that they understand the power. They've actually encompassed the power and used that power for us to
Yeah.
see the value of it. So I just look at it and I say, you know what? We need a spaces for us as far as enriching our culture, and being able to be profoundly engaging and enriching our culture
Mm.
continuously. So what I look to do with the platforms that I do have, like I said, they are Afrocentric based,
Yes.
and it is about enriching our culture. I feel that we have a super rich culture, and
Yes,
so
we do.
and so I just want to have a space where we can dwell and be unapologetically us and be 100% us, and don't have to worry about going into quote unquote social media jails, and can't have conversations that other people don't understand, or others don't understand, where we talk to each other, because we need to talk to one another.
Yeah, we do. We do.
So, and that's why I'm glad that I have the opportunity to be able to open the doors and be able to have a space where indie Black media professionals and those that create that look like me can come and display their talent. I want you to be interdependent. I'm not looking to compete against you. Actually, I'm looking to give you a space where you can actually even share more of your story.
Mm. So essentially what you're saying is you're creating platforms for us so you can control the narrative. You know how this huge country that we had, as people would just go ahead and claim it. I don't know how they did that, but they did nonetheless. And they was able to control the narratives, their narratives, and have power and control, and create the laws that would benefit them. So what you're doing is creating your narratives, having your own virtual real estate, and being able to have something that we can control our narratives, and not be on social media jails, and have us to be able to use the language, and engage with ourselves without being restricted.
That's exactly the purpose, for us to
Mm.
be 100% us. And the bad thing about it is, and I guess what driven me was where my background is from as far as being in broadcasting. I mean, I started in public broadcasting, and the model that Neighborhood Planet and all of its entities are is based on public broadcasting, because the more I got into public broadcasting and appreciating it, the more I came to see that the diversification is not there, because I believe personally that
Mhm.
broadcasting should be a public service. I don't really feel as though it should be profit driven in the way that it's profit driven now, because they twist things and they put things out there, and they've controlled the world's view of who we are as a culture. And
Yeah,
I know that we're intelligent enough and smart enough to tell our own stories and form our own opinions, and
absolutely.
let people know ourselves who we are 100%. We don't need no one else to do that for
Yeah,
us.
absolutely. I mean, we don't, because there's a lot of times. Let's think about it. When we was in school back in the day, the education that we was getting was so creative. It wasn't true. We would go, and here it is, a new millennium. And when we was in school, they just really glorified Christopher Columbus. They really glorified and made him seem like he was this person who discovered America. Now, remember, discovering something where people are already there, engaging and living their own life, their own culture. But they put this in the books and force us to learn it. So now we have a whole new millennium comes by. We start coming, learning more through, social media. People who are having their own platforms, controlling their own individual narratives, and we find out 50 years later, or whatever was forced to learn, that this wasn't even true. And I see why some of our politicians or people who are in control has problems with this, I guess, critical thinking, critical race theory, or don't want people to learn certain things about their history because we're brilliant, we're great, and think about all the things we have overcome. So just imagine like what we're doing now. You put in 10 hours to 12 hours a day. You're still being creative to try to create your own economic independence, but you're still raising your family. You're still being involved in the community. You're still striving, studying, and you're still getting it done. And guess what? We still have the same 24 hours any other person born on this planet, and we still getting it done. So think about out there slaving all day, being beat, not eating that much, and still in the middle of the morning, learning how to read, learning how to plot, learning how to create your future. But we have the same 24 hours. So it shows how great we are. And so the world needs to know our greatness. And it's not no coincidence that we're still learn how to read and learn how to do so much with the same 24 hours. So people need to hear our stories. They need to not only always wondering where these things come from, like we wasn't part of this creating of this nation. So I'm thanking you for it, man. I'm thanking you for your vision. And this is what I'm saying, the brains behind all of this. You know, for you guys listening, you know, a lot of times we look at entertainers and we sit there and say, hey, man, that's a great actor or that's a great performer. But people don't understand the person behind it who create those stories that's being performed by those entertainers. That director who's coming up with the idea and putting that story together. It's their vision. Everyone has their place. You have the talent and you have the producers, and those producers who and directors, they come up with these brilliant ideas to make this stuff come into a reality so everyone can relate. But a lot of times we just look at the person who's in front of the camera, but we don't realize the person behind the camera is the one who's doing a lot of work. You know, we always perceive the person behind the camera is just this puppet master. But sometimes, man, these people are very quiet, creative, and they're doing whatever they have to do to make sure that they pick the right talent to get that message out there, or to get that message out there so people can be their lives can be changed. And so we having someone right here today. So we've been on a little while, and you know we like to get into our little commercial breaks. So we'll be going into a commercial break, and we'll be coming right back with Social Therapy with Dr. Brother Suave. We're back. Oh man, the Success Architect. Look at you, man. I see you got the paraphernalia on, man. I see you out there. I
Oh
see.
yeah,
We see it out there.
well, like I said, I've been in the studio all day, doing some editing on some things and really just trying to pull things to center. I was sending out welcome, thank you messages. Actually, I'm going to run that by the end of this show today. That thank you message that I sent you today to all of our guests from last month. Y'all don't understand. We got a month in the books with the Dr.
Yes,
Suave show. So we done accomplished something already. This is like the 100th episode. For me, it's like when they celebrate the 100th episode of a TV show. Man, we on our second month right now. So
yes,
we had some fire guests on. Uh,
yes. We have. We
oh
have.
man, the disconnector. Come on, man.
Yes. We
Yes.
started off with a bang.
What?
Yes.
My sister, Brandy Johnson. Oh, love it, love it, love it. Then we backed her up with the Black Love Doctor,
Yes.
Dr. Aaron
Yes.
Temple. Come on. Let's
Yes.
go. Oh, he came in talking about balance, came in talking about equally yoked. That was a fire session. I appreciate that for help us to understand that we needed to think about our decisions when it came down to our significant other and having and being able to balance life real good. And that's the one thing I think, Brother Suave, that I learned from our shows that we had last month is about balance more than anything because our
Yep.
sister Guma Kande came on and she was talking about trauma and
Hmm.
how we don't understand that we are traumatized, but we're so used to it, we don't realize that we're
We have
traumatized.
normalized it.
And that was a fire session. And then we start talking about that $150 billion a week industry, a month industry, a year industry, whatever,
Yes.
with our sister. And man, Sandra Gibson came on and talked about it, and you guys talked about it. So for me, I'm just getting fulfilled, man. My cup is getting full. I'm happy. And I'm just looking forward to us moving forward and continue to build and build out this space. And again, independent Black media individuals, creative,
Yeah.
multimedia. Um, like I said, what we're looking to do is just be a support for you. We're looking to be able to help you to expand your success and expand your story and to be able to tell more people. And that's what we're here for. There's no ulterior motives. Like I said, we're registered as a public as a public broadcasting company. We're a nonprofit organization with it. So our purpose is true. And that's one thing that we're here to do is just really to speak facts and speak truth and allow you to make your decision. And that's what we're here for. And not only that, to give you some of this beautiful therapy that my suave, amazing brother is actually giving to us with. So, uh,
Yes.
yeah, I'm excited about it, brother. I'm excited. I'm
But
excited.
you guys, you hear what we talking about balance. You see, I am bringing on these topics, these divine social topics that's need to give us all the divine social therapy that we need because we talk about balance. We need balance. It's important. So we have balance in this dynamic of our relationship. Professionally, we have a balance in our relationship and our lives. We have balance and professional in our health and how we think. See, the thing is, as I always talk about balance. See, sometimes people, because he used the word interdependent. See, we always want to be independent, or we hear about people being codependent, but we have to work together and be interdependent. And this is what we're doing in terms of the balance. We having this balance and everything that we do. We don't want to be hot all the time. We don't want to be cold all the time. That's why when you put the two together, we have perfect warm water. You understand? So we're understanding balance. You don't want to be too much to the right. You don't want to be too much to the left. But when you're in the center, that makes it perfect balance. And this is what we're all about. Because see, every time we come on here, as he was breaking it down, again, see, the brains behind all this know everything that's going on. You may not see him, but I'm telling you, he knows what's going on. And we come together, have our conversations, and what we're doing is trying to feed. Again, um, social therapy with Dr. Brother Suave, again, we're about healing from a social, spiritual, and clinical perspective. So each and every week, we're going to be coming on talking about things. So what we had to do is have the brains of this thing so you guys can see them and talk about why we bringing this to the platform. This is why we talking about things because our people need to talk about these things. Sometimes we just so over do so much overkill with just talking about strictly psychological things. It's overkill when we talk about super spiritual things. It's psychological when we strictly talking about relationships. We have to have, again, a pot full of diversity, talking about all these things that create balance in all our lives. And I just love his idea. And also, at the end of the day, it's about us creating the narratives. And what we're doing is creating a platform, creating a narrative that we and our people look like us that will be able to benefit from it. And so I just thank you, Success Architect, man, because again, we been doing this for a month, man,
Oh,
and just to let you guys know. See, again, behind the scenes, you guys are not realizing the relationships that we have built. You guys don't see the relationships. If you look at everything, you look at our graphics, you look at people who calling and getting referrals, people who are like, man, I didn't know I had experienced trauma. Where can I go to address my traumatic issues? Referral. Listen, I didn't know that human trafficking. Who did I connect? This person. You know, I've been having some issues with my marriages. Hey, listen. So we only been in a month, and think about it, because again, people you may not see them coming on, but I'm telling you, they watching you. So that's why everything we doing, we're gonna do with pride. We're gonna be professional. We're gonna do because we care. We care, and we know, a person don't always have to pop up, but we know their lives are being touched. And so when he talking about this virtual real estate, this is unlimited. We touching people that's in every state, every country, every part of this world. And this is what his vision is, to make sure that we can touch everybody. And this is how we get in this platform and how we having all this virtual real estate, man. So I'm looking at you, look with your yeah, let's show this stuff. Let's talk about that. Almost every week I'll be messing up Hey, well, you're talking about murdering words, man. I'm murdering acronyms and stuff like that. So, ladies and gentlemen, hey, every week I'm always messing it up, trying to get it out. And then I'll say neighborhood planning because I mess up the letters. So, guess what? Here's the mastermind behind that, the creator behind that. So, he's going to tell you about the vision, the idea, and how to say it the right way.
Well, like I said, really what's important for me is for us to be able to dictate our own narrative,
Absolutely.
control our own imagery. Again, it's because others have actually given the world their opinion of who we should be considered as, and a lot of the world look at us that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where we need to try to fill in the gaps. No, not try, but that's where we need to fill in the gaps.
Yes.
And the power of media is so incredible. The powers that be used media to get to where they are now and to be the power that they are. So I'm just looking to try to, again, find a balance for us, have a space for us to be able to enrich ourselves and enrich each other and to support one another, and be 100% holistically us. I believe that we can compete against anyone because with the devices that we have, most of us watch more, have more than one device that we're looking at when we're watching TV anyway. I was actually reading an article today showing that was taken back in 19 or 20 that said that African Americans watch more TV than any culture. I think it's an average of 3.5 or 3.2 hours a day. And what I wanted and what I'm looking to do with Neighborhood Planet is be that what you're watching on your device. Just like you watch Xfinity or any of these other networks or any of these other companies, that's who we're looking to compete against, because we can reach everyone with the phone. And then what we're looking to do is make sure that it's easily accessible and easily memorable. So that's why we have NPN TV. That's who we are. We have 3 platforms on Neighborhood Planet Broadcasting Systems, which is the actual network, which is npntv.com and .org, npnradio.com and .org, and npnvoice.com and .org. The TV, you know what that is. The radio is for our audio. And of course, we have music playing on that. We're actually reprogramming it right now. And then we have NPN Voice, which would be the podcast platform. But we're looking for individuals who want to share their stories. We look for individuals who want to have shows, and to help to be able to create a space for you, to be able for you to be able to build your community. No different than what's been going on in other places and spaces, but we always end up being the consumer and not the creator.
Yes.
And I believe that's what really motivates me as well, brother, is the fact that I want us to be able to build our own space. I want us to be able to build up our own economics. I'm no different than a lot of other visionaries and people and individuals that's out here. I'm just looking to roll with others who can see the big picture and who have that same understanding of the overall master plan of what we should have, not just specifically mine. I love the fact that you support me. I love the fact that we have been getting support here on the planet.
Yeah.
I'm crazy about that. It's a start, but everyone had to start somewhere. But the point is, anything can be everything in life. That's one thing that this technology has helped us to realize, is that if you put in the time and you're consistent and you're persistent and you have the creativity, you can create whatever you want. And that's the thing that I love. And the one thing that I'm looking to do with Neighborhood Planet is to create that virtual space. My virtual real estate and development is nothing like that you're seeing out here right now, as far as metaverse and the AI and the virtual reality things that they're doing. But more so, it's just it will evolve into that. But more so, again, it's just for us to be able to communicate with one another, and for us to be able to have our conversations, and for us to be able to share those stories that can inspire us in our culture, and especially the generation that's coming behind us.
Hmm.
I,
Hmm.
I believe that there's stories of generations that's above us, even above us, the baby boomers and our elderly blacks that has story to tell, that I believe that we should be telling some of those stories, because I believe that those stories need to be recognized, and it would have a positive impact on the younger generation if they really knew the stories, because I believe that a lot of the young ones don't know those stories about what they had to go through to vote alone. 'Cause you remember when we got voting age, how our grandparents and parents was
Oh
about
my
it.
God,
You better
yes,
go register to vote. I'm gonna take you up there to register to vote.
yes.
You
Put a
know how
lot of
they
emphasis
were
on it.
adamant. Yo, they were adamant about it. Adamant.
Yes.
So those type of things, and I just don't like it to be lost in the sauce, and I just don't like the conversation to get lost, because like you were saying earlier, you see a lot of now, it seems as though, I can't say that's the case, but it seems as though they're trying to make us forget about history.
Yeah. And it's funny thing, you know, I believe it's done that because, again, being pro-black don't mean anti-white. And I think what happens is it's so creative in how they're doing things. And you know how we always want our children to be well spoken. We want them to be exposed. We want them to learn the the purpose of diversity. But what they're trying to do is make diversity seem so diverse that it's exclusive. You start to exclude other groups. You exclude your history. You understand? And it's
Right.
good that we come together when you have a universal mindset. But what I noticed in our particular group, they trying to water us down and don't want our story to be told. And those stories made us who we are. They
Absolutely.
made our country who it is.
Absolutely.
We're not talking about jazz coming out of nowhere. We're not talking about rock and roll coming out of nowhere. We're not talking about these
Hip hop
foods.
coming
We're
out
not
of
open
nowhere.
heart surgery. All these things, the navigation system. This is coming from us. We are so brilliant that they still to this date trying to figure out how the pyramids was made. I mean, we were so brilliant. They still haven't figured that stuff out. But what they're doing is trying to, like, for example, you hear stuff like um the stolen legacy when they're talking about, we always hear about Socrates, Aristotle, and all those and brilliant minds. But those brilliant minds was cultivated and it was taught by a culture that they don't want to recognize. And so our stories need to be told. And again, we don't mind our kids being diverse. I mean, they need to learn. I mean, we're not on this planet by ourselves, but don't act like we didn't exist. Don't think that we aren't the true influencers. You're talking about fashion, hip hop. I mean, when you see these things, it's like, wait a minute. I made this. The next thing you know, your idea is someone else and branded it and doing it like you didn't exist. And this is what happens. So this is why I have this appreciation for your idea and your vision about this virtual real estate and being able to have um, people. So when you was talking earlier
Hmm.
about building,
Hmm.
um, this is what I see. I can't say, but I think that you would like for many of us, because we see a lot of people on social media, a
Hmm.
lot of brilliant people. I'm talking about people who are influencers, a lot of
Absolutely.
people who are, and what I've noticed, it just reminds me of how everyone's going their separate ways. And you're trying to give us something where we can all come here and tell our story. It's strength in numbers. It reminds me of some of the things of the African American churches, a million of them. And maybe we can come together and be on one platform and do things and tell our story instead of having the billions of different people going in different directions, but let's cut it in half and make 100 million, and all us come together on this platform and tell our story. It's strength in numbers because we can build something. Your vision, you're the visionary. And I would love, because every time you turn around, someone's saying they're on social media jail, you know, and so sometimes their story is hindered or restricted because they may have said something that's true, factual, but sometimes people don't want to hear it. And I understand some things can be offensive, but again, when you identify with certain things, you realize it's really not offensive. It's just the way you expressed it. But this is where empathy comes in. Sometimes people just don't have it. As we saw recently, what happened to the sister, you know, it could have been offensive. It could have been, but that was an opinion, right or wrong or indifferent. It's just, I don't see it was intentional. But again, sometimes certain platforms, you don't have the luxury of making a mistake, you know, and being forgiven and not castrated as a result of the mistake. So I'm thanking you for it.
I appreciate that, and really what I want everyone to understand is that regardless of what you do, is there are no hidden agendas. You
No.
know what I do. My purpose is to be impactful. I've heard a lot. One thing that we all hear is when a lot of people say, "Well, if I could change one person's life, I did good in life. I had a purpose in life." And I agree with you 1,000%. You're right. If you do something good and positive to help someone to positively change their life, your life is valuable. You did do something. You did the work of the creator. But for me, I feel personally, for me, I need to change a lot of lives.
Yes, to make an impact.
That's what I want to do, and that's my mission, and that's why Neighborhood Planet is being built, and that's why Neighborhood Planet is open for those who want to make that impact. Those of you who believe that you believe in profiting with the purpose. Because for me, that's the purpose of Neighborhood Planet. Even though it's a nonprofit, is filed as a nonprofit in a public entity, still it's ran like a private entity, because
Hmm.
regardless, you can't change anything without economics. We know that. So,
No.
you hear a lot from our culture as don't. It's always a hesitation about when you have a desire to be wealthy, or you have a
Yes.
desire to create a lot of revenue, shall I say? That it's sometimes it's spoken on as being a bad thing,
Yes. Yes.
and
Yes.
I think that's where a lot of us are missing the picture,
Yeah.
because in order for you to make a change, in order for you to make a change and be able to win in the game, you got to be able to understand the rules.
Hmm.
Now, and to be tricky about it, that's where we're losing, is because we have nobody that's in our corner to help make some of those rules to benefit us. See,
Yeah.
a lot of the rules have been created, but we weren't included on those rules when they were made.
Mhm.
We weren't even in the thought.
Yeah.
So that what we want to do is, one, we want to be able to influence, because having influence is extremely important. We see that with social media. We see that with this technology these days, how strong influence is. And so for
Yes.
all you creative and visible individuals, come on, man. How could you not want another platform that you can go on that has tentacles everywhere? We have so many profiles. We have so many domain names. Our digital footprint is huge,
Yes.
regardless of how little or how many. It's huge. It's the point that it's like you said, it's power in numbers. You said that, Fred. So when we're looking at over 800 domains and we're looking at over 200 social profiles, come on, man. Regardless if we only have 150 on one, 300 on the other, of course it's a process and you build the momentum, of course,
Yeah.
but
And
still the numbers are the numbers.
the numbers are the numbers. And that's why I'm saying, listen, you guys out there, again, as you watch this broadcast, listen, consider joining our team. You know, it seemed like we're so caught up on what's popular or what's popping at the moment. You need to get in early. I mean, like I said in one of my books, I said one of the most painful experiences in life is the pain and regret. You know, I don't know if you guys know. I know you guys know about Byron Allen. Here's that next Byron Allen. Y'all don't even understand. You
Don't,
know,
don't put that hat on me, Fred. That's a big hat to fill.
listen, let me tell you something.
I admire
They
that.
probably said the
I
same
admire
thing. They said the same thing, and you see, for years, we just took him for granted. We used to see him as the host of this show in the middle of the night. And it was always just a little 30-minute show. You're like, man, but look where he is. He's a billionaire. One of those billionaires that we don't even talk about. He sued and look where he is because he had a vision. You know, I'm telling you, when people have a vision and you don't listen, sometimes it's like I remind me of the story of Get On This by James Brown and not Maceo, but the brother was sitting there saying, listen, we don't have his talent, we don't have his vision.
Bird.
Let's take a ride with him.
Bird.
You know, sometimes we got to respect that we are all limited to a certain degree. Some people have a different vision, but we all have talent. But sometimes people got a vision that you can't see, but they can. And sometimes you need to just learn how to support. And I'm telling you, if we come together again, strength in numbers, he's offering opportunity. Become a talent, you know. Come on and join MPN TV. I mean, you see, because guess what? It's like people don't want to get on early, but again, sometimes they end up paying for it later, literally and figuratively. And so, man, listen, you guys understand this man has so much vision. And when you know, a lot of times that's when we talk behind the scenes and stuff, we just brainstorm. You know, listen, let me just share this with you. It's a lot of you guys out there who are independent filmmakers. And the only time you get a chance to even show your things is some film festival. For the most part, you would spend a lot of money. No one ever get a chance to even see it. It's an opportunity. You guys don't even realize, man. You know, we're controlling our own narrative. And again, it's a lot of platforms that this brother has for everybody to tell our stories on our own terms, our language, our vision, our way of doing things, how we communicate. And again, I'm happy, I'm blessed. And so again, we're gonna just go on another last commercial break before we close out today. So we'll be right back with Dr. Brother Suave. Hey there, Success Architect. Man, when we went on that commercial break, man, I was sitting there thinking, again, this vision of yours. And so what I think about the stuff we talk about, and so again, I'm talking about divine, how we met, the divine message I experienced today, even the idea that I had when I labeled myself the divine social therapist. Look at this. This is all divine. So I think about how important this is for all of us. Take this down, write it down. So again, he teaches me about things he have an idea. about doing when it comes to controlling our narrative. It's something I never really talked about or even thought about, but when they said it made sense. I teach you and you teach the world. See, it's like paying for. You have a mentor. The mentor teaches the student. The student teaches the masses. This is how this thing grows. Numbers. We empower each other. Again, it's just like a parent. A parent teaches, develops their child to prepare them for the world. That parent, that child teaches their children and develop them to prepare them for the world, and so on and so forth. And this is what we have to understand the mindset to have. So when it was all divine, so I'm out of all times, I heard that message from my dear friend Joy at the right time. Same thing with this brother, the right time. 30 some years, man. So we have to understand this message. So, so again, when she says, I reach you, you reach them, and they reach the world. And we got to understand when we got to come together, because again, a lot of you guys that got your individual platforms, we need to start coming together, be in a closer space, share information, share visions. We can't keep this stuff to ourselves. We got to share. It's strength in numbers. Some of the people got some brilliant ideas in economics. They know about Bitcoins. They know about editing. They know about connecting, finances, banking. A long time ago, we didn't have all these millionaires like we do. And I'm just wondering, we sometimes when we get frustrated about things not going our way, and it's almost like, again, I do everything in threes from a social, spiritual, and clinical perspective. So what I look at socially, is called insanity cycle, doing something over and again and expecting a different result. And then you look at from a psychological, a clinical perspective, it's called patterns and repetitions. And then when you look at things from a spiritual perspective, it's called generational curses. But nonetheless, everything is just going in a circle. It's counterproductive. We don't have to keep complaining. We got the talent. We definitely got the money. Every time you do those those economic reports of so how much money we spend, look at all these billionaires, millionaires, and we just come together. We can create our own professional sports franchise, our own banks, our own networks, our own farms, our own clothing lines, everything. We don't always have to take the crumbs. We got to learn how to be humble and pick our leaders, pick our visionaries. Everybody, the reality. I remember St. Thomas Aquinas said the majority of the world are followers. A great percentage of society has no sense of direction. A greater percentage of society is looking for someone to lead and guide them. It's the few, the very few, that set a precedence for the world. All of us have our purpose. So when we having somebody with a vision, we all can come under them because they have the vision. But again, we have to learn our what our capabilities are, and not saying because I can't do what you do, I'm lesser than you. It's just everybody got vision. There's only going to be one chief, and we need to come together, man. I mean, and again, we have too many people with too much money right now that we didn't have 50 years ago. And we can create, like he's talking about, creating our own narratives. Man, we can do that with the numbers and the money that we have. Talk to us about that, Success Architect, because I don't care what nobody say. We have it. We didn't have this stuff years ago, but we have it now.
Well,
Why can't we manage to come together, my man?
Well, as far as managing to come together, that's a obstacle that we've been facing for centuries. I think that mindsets and uh, just humility and humanity has been lost a lot of times because of the programming that we've received. And one thing I always say is, I'm just here to. That's one thing that I do as far as being a success architect and building is it's all about enhancement for me. It's always about improving for me. My thrill and what I get out of this is watching someone else become great. And I was a part of that, or I was a fuel for that, for you to become great. That's what excites me. Not the fact of trying to hold you down or to prevent you from becoming great. I want you to be great. I want to be a part of that. Like I said, I like to be an author of success stories. So if you got something great, come on, man. Let's do it. That's where
Yeah.
I'm at. I'm willing to put in all the work that I could possibly put in myself to make sure that you become great. So you can say, you know what, this brother helped me out. That make me feel good. That's my thrill, helping you
Mm.
to become what you are. And whatever God blesses me with and the graces that He give me, I take that.
Yeah.
You know, because I believe that service begets wealth. That's me. I've been a service person my entire life. We've been a part of a service frat for over 30 years, brother. You already know.
Yeah.
You already know the time. So
Hmm.
I'm a service person. So I before and I'm gonna keep it real right here on my own space. Before I fuck over you, I won't fuck with you. I'm just keeping
Hmm.
it real with you.
Yeah.
Because it's not worth my time. To me, time is the most precious thing on this planet besides your health.
Yeah.
Health, health, love, and time are three things that are just insurmountably precious.
Yeah.
So I'm not here to waste my time. I'm not here to waste your time because we both can get what we need in life and not interrupt each other.
Yeah.
So I'm not here to interrupt you. I'm not here to take nothing from you. I'm here to help you to get something
Yeah.
because you get, you share. And when you share, you might share a little bit with me because I helped you out. I'm
Yes,
not.
absolutely. I what was the old song? Uh, I forgot his name. He said, "Well, when I go platinum, you go platinum."
That's
You
just how
know?
it works. That's how it works.
Yes.
That's how it
Yeah.
works, man. And that's
It,
and
it
that's what I'm
does.
here for. Indie black media professionals, indie black creators. This is a spot for you. Like my brother was saying, as far as if you got short films, we got spaces for you, especially
Yes. Come on.
especially for the intelligent creative. This is definitely for my black intelligent creators. Neighborhood Planet is built for you specifically. Trust me when I tell you that. I love the imagination of what we have. We have created so many things, and the thing that really impressed me was I was looking at some of these apps that has come out recently in the last, say, let's say 3 to 5 years. Because I think when I first got this domain, when I first got Neighborhood Planet, I think that was 1993. I mean,
Mm.
no, it's a little bit later than that. It was like 1995 or something like that. But my point is that what we got to do is we just got to come together and we got to build, and
Yeah.
if you are an intelligent creative, bring it. Come on, let's go. Let's put these things out here. Let people know that what you're doing. Let people see what you're doing. And then what we do here on Neighborhood Planet is whatever it takes for us to be able to make sure that we can help you have the support and resources. That's me. I'm a resource guy. So if I don't have it, I can find somebody who do, or I know somebody who do. I mean, I've been in business. I mean, Stronghold Capital Private Business Group has been around since 2001.
Yeah.
We've been around for a long time, you know. So
Absolutely.
so 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 we've built some good relationships. My strongest social media aspect is LinkedIn because that's where I dwell all the time. I dwell with business owners. I talk to hundreds of business owners a week. Trust me, I do, and that's an
Yes.
honest truth. Hundreds of business owners every single week I talk to. So I'm here to make sure that we can do what we need to do, enrich us, and to be able to again, and I'll beat it down, is control the imagery, dictate the narrative, but more so, what I think more so that's important for me is to brand Black America to the world because
Yes.
America hasn't been branded correctly. And I keep saying that. And one thing that you said, brother, that I think should be recognized is because I love us don't mean I hate you. I love us. That don't
Yeah.
mean I hate you because I love us, because I want to do things that enrich us and empower us. That doesn't make me hate you. It doesn't make me want to be a person that want to create a greater separation or to exclude anyone. I'm not here to exclude anyone. I'm here to include us is what I'm here to do.
Yes.
That's what
Exactly.
that's what the purpose of us is to include us, to make sure we're not forgotten about, and to make sure that we're not misrepresented like we have been since 1929 when the TV first came on.
Yeah. Uh huh. Absolutely. And again, had us on TV acting like buffoons. And also, you remember when they had us playing only certain roles, and then all these people spent their time to become performers and thespians, and you having them marginalized doing these silly roles. And when they decide to say, I want to have more roles that will make an influence and better positive image on my people, they stop hiring them. And then next thing you know, they start hiring them as police. You remember that role with Sidney Poitier?
Yes, I
But
do.
anyway, listen, you guys, you got your own platform. Come and join our family. Strength in numbers. I'm telling you, we got this team to support you. You out there on alone. I'm not trying to quote what's the brother name on death row? What you want a real family? Come and join us, man. We got you.
Absolutely. That's what we're here for. Like
I
I
mean,
said,
you don't need to be out there by yourself. You know, everybody, like I say, it's strength in numbers. You out there on your platform, come join a team. Everyone knows strength in numbers. Come join Neighborhood Planet. I'm telling you, you won't regret it. And again, we're strength in numbers.
in the term, you and I keep talking about, it's interdependent. If you don't understand it, just look up the meaning of interdependent.
Absolutely.
We want you to be strong alone, so you could also help support and strengthen the team, and the team strengthens you. That's just the way it works. Everybody has their roles. Everybody do what they do, and I will just want you to create and be all that you can possibly be. I mean, we have everything from Black Teen TV, which is the first and only network that's dedicated to the empowerment of the Black teen. What other network is just strictly for a Black teen? We need that in our culture. I mean, there's so many things that we can do. And again, you independent Black media individuals, we also have independentblackmedia.org, where we actually have the club for independent Black medias to come together and have conversations and to be able to work and that type of thing. So it runs deep. Still waters run deep. Quiet rivers run deep. So we're just excited about it. I'm excited to be able to have a brother like my brother Suave here, that sees the big picture. And I think a lot of times that's where we fall short, is that individuals don't accept the fact that, everyone plays their role. And if we all play our role 100%, we're going to come out with 1,000%, and we're going to come out with a W instead of the L. So, and I think that's important. Understanding humanity, being able to have a balance that we talked about, especially from those shows that you had last month, Brother Suave.
It's going to be more and more dynamic. So before we close out, tell the people how, if they needed to contact you, if they wanted to be a part of a winning team. Y'all see that? Let
me get it right.
NPN TV, send out those promotions. Hey,
everyone on the web. I'm at NPN TV. NPN TV is me all over the web. Neighborhood Planet, that's me all over the web. Anything that I quote to you, it's me all over the web. I can go down a list of things, but you can reach me at NPN TV all over the web, Neighborhood Planet all over the web, Neighborhood PBS all over the web.
Well, brother, it's been a amazing. Yes, man. Listen, I'm so happy, man. Again, I appreciate you, man. I'm happy that you came. People got a chance to see the face behind the creativity. And man, I'm happy. I'm happy that you people got a chance. And again, join us every single Wednesday, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, with Social Therapy with Dr. Brother Suave, your divine social therapy. So again, just always want you to remember, man, great minds reach great places. I love you. I mean it. And bye-bye.
We shook up the world, brother. We shook up the world.
Yes.
This program was made possible by Neighborhood Planet Broadcasting Systems, Neighborhood Planet Network, and from contributions to NPN TV from viewers like you.